the pursuit of personal growth and self-knowledge, one of the most profound and transformative ideas comes from the work of Carl Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist whose theories revolutionized the understanding of the human psyche. Jung's work dives deep into the human experience, exploring the depths of the unconscious, the integration of the self, and the lifelong journey toward individuation. Today, we're going to explore one of Jung's most enduring ideas, the notion of becoming who you really are. But what does this mean? How do we even begin the process of discovering our true selves? And why does it matter in the first place? The path towards self-realization isn't an easy one. It's not a destination that you can reach by following a simple set of steps. Instead, it is a process, one that requires deep introspection, a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths, and a commitment to living authentically. Becoming who you truly are, according to Jung, is not about fulfilling external expectations or societal roles. It's about breaking through the surface-level personas we construct to fit into the world and engaging with the hidden, deeper aspects of our psyche. The unconscious, a world within. To understand what it means to become who you truly are, we need to first understand Jung's concept of the unconscious. Jung proposed that the mind is made up of both the conscious and unconscious, and that our unconscious plays a far more important role in shaping our lives than we often realize. While the conscious mind is responsible for our everyday thoughts, decisions, and actions, the unconscious contains all the parts of us that we have either forgotten, repressed, or have yet to discover. The unconscious isn't just a repository of forgotten memories or repressed desires. Jung believed that it holds valuable insights and wisdom, hidden away from our conscious awareness. The unconscious also houses archetypes, universal symbols, themes, and patterns that shape our behaviors, desires, and relationships. These archetypes manifest in various ways throughout our lives, often in the form of dreams, fantasies, and spontaneous thoughts. If we pay close attention to these symbols, they can guide us toward a more authentic life. But the unconscious also contains something darker: the shadow. The shadow is made up of all the aspects of ourselves that we repress because we deem them unacceptable. Whether they're negative traits, emotions, or desires that don't fit the idealized version of ourselves. The shadow holds all that we have denied, rejected, or ignored, parts of us that are too uncomfortable to face. For many people, these repressed aspects remain buried deep within the psyche, influencing our behaviors and reactions in ways we don't even realize. Individuation, the process of becoming whole. Jung's concept of individuation is central to understanding how we can become who we truly are. Individuation is the process by which a person integrates their unconscious with their conscious mind, coming to terms with the various parts of themselves, the light and the dark, and ultimately becoming a more complete, whole individual. Individuation is not an easy or quick process. It takes time, patience, and an openness to self-reflection and self-acceptance. It requires confronting the very aspects of ourselves that we would rather avoid. The parts of our psyche that we consider weak, shameful, or even downright destructive. Jung believed that without this integration, we are doomed to live fragmented lives, constantly at war with ourselves, trapped in outdated patterns of behavior and perception. At the core of individuation lies the need to embrace both the persona and the shadow. The persona, as Jung described it, is the mask we wear to interact with the world. It's the outward expression of who we believe we should be, the identity we construct to fit in with society. While the persona can be useful, it allows us to function and communicate in the world. It can also become a prison, trapping us in a narrow, incomplete view of ourselves. Jung argued that we must go beyond the persona if we are to discover our true selves. We must delve into the unconscious, face our shadow, and integrate these hidden parts into our conscious awareness. Only by doing this can we transcend the limited role we've been playing and discover the full range of our potential. The shadow, embracing the darkness. One of the most challenging aspects of individuation is confronting the shadow. The shadow is made up of all the traits, desires, and emotions that we have disowned because they don't fit into our conscious image of ourselves. It might include feelings of anger, jealousy, greed, or even cruelty, traits that we would rather deny than face. But according to Jung, the shadow isn't something to be feared or rejected. It's an essential part of who we are, and until we integrate it, we cannot fully know ourselves. This process of shadow work can be uncomfortable, even painful. It requires us to face the aspects of ourselves that we have buried deep in the unconscious. But in doing so, we begin to realize that the shadow is not inherently bad. In fact, it holds valuable insights and strengths. For example, anger, when recognized and expressed in healthy ways, can become a source of personal power. By confronting and integrating the shadow, we reclaim these lost aspects of ourselves and make them conscious. This is what Jung meant by becoming whole. It's about accepting all parts of ourselves, even the ones we find unpleasant or difficult. In practical terms, shadow work involves paying attention to our projections, the ways we project our unresolved issues onto others. If we find ourselves constantly blaming others for our problems, or if we react with intense dislike to certain people, it may be a sign that we are projecting our own unresolved feelings onto them. By turning inward and reflecting on these projections, we can begin to understand the hidden parts of ourselves that we need to embrace. The hero's journey, a metaphor for transformation. Jung often used the metaphor of the hero's journey to describe the process of individuation. The hero's journey is a narrative pattern that appears in many myths, legends, and stories, and it also serves as a metaphor for the process of self-discovery and transformation. In this journey, the hero is called to venture into the unknown, to confront challenges, and ultimately to return home transformed. The hero's journey is a universal archetype, meaning it speaks to all of us, regardless of our individual experiences. We all have our own personal hero's journey to undertake, whether it's through a life crisis, an emotional breakthrough, or a period of profound self-reflection. In Jungian terms, the call to adventure is the invitation to embark on the path of individuation, to go beyond the familiar and confront the unconscious forces that shape our lives. Along the way, the hero faces various trials, obstacles, and temptations. These challenges are not just external, they are also internal. The hero must confront their own fears, weaknesses, and insecurities. But as they progress, they also gain wisdom and strength. Ultimately, the hero undergoes a transformation, emerging from the journey with a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them. For Jung, the hero's journey is a metaphor for the individuation process. Just as the hero confronts their shadow and integrates the lessons learned on their journey, so too must we face the unconscious parts of ourselves and allow them to become conscious. The goal is not to defeat the shadow, but to integrate it, accepting it as part of our total being, rather than denying or rejecting it. Archetypes and the self. A key part of becoming who you truly are is understanding the role of archetypes in our lives. Archetypes are universal patterns of behavior and experience that reside in the collective unconscious, the shared psychological inheritance of all humans. These archetypes manifest in our dreams, our myths, and our relationships, and they guide us toward self-discovery. Jung identified several key archetypes, including the hero, the shadow, the anima and animus, and the wise old man. Each of these archetypes represents different aspects of the psyche, and their presence in our lives can help us understand our deeper motivations, desires, and struggles. For instance, the anima and animus represent the feminine and masculine aspects of the psyche, regardless of our biological sex. Jung believed that both men and women possess both feminine and masculine energies, and to become whole, we must integrate these energies into our lives. The anima represents the unconscious feminine qualities, such as intuition, emotion, and creativity, while the animus represents the unconscious masculine qualities, such as rationality, assertiveness, and logic. Integrating the anima and animus is an important part of individuation, as it allows us to transcend rigid gender roles and embrace the full spectrum of our human potential. By recognizing and accepting both the masculine and feminine within us, we achieve greater balance and wholeness. The role of dreams. Another key tool for self-discovery is dream analysis. Jung believed that dreams are a direct connection to the unconscious and provide valuable insights into the unconscious aspects of the psyche. By paying attention to the symbols and themes in our dreams, we can uncover hidden fears, desires, and unresolved issues that are influencing our waking lives. Jung suggested that dreams are not random or meaningless, but rather have a purpose. They are messages from the unconscious, guiding us toward greater self-awareness. The symbols in our dreams can reveal parts of ourselves that we may have repressed or ignored. By exploring these symbols and their meanings, we can begin to understand the deeper layers of our psyche and integrate them into our conscious awareness. Conclusion: the lifelong process of becoming whole. Ultimately, the journey to become who you truly are is a lifelong process, one that requires continuous self-reflection, self-acceptance, and a willingness to confront both the light and dark aspects of your psyche. It's not an easy journey, and there will be times when it feels uncomfortable, painful, or overwhelming. But through this process of individuation, you move closer to the truth of who you are, shedding the layers of false identity and reconnecting with your authentic self. Becoming who you truly are isn't about perfection or achieving some idealized version of yourself. It's about accepting yourself in your totality, embracing your strengths, your weaknesses, your successes, and your failures. It's about living with integrity and authenticity, aligning your actions with your deepest values and desires. This process is not something that happens in an instant. It unfolds over time, and it requires patience, courage, and a deep commitment to self-discovery. So, as you continue on your journey, remember that the process of becoming is never complete. It is a dynamic, evolving process that unfolds throughout your life. There is no final destination. There is only the journey itself, a journey that, when undertaken with openness and honesty, leads to a more authentic, fulfilling, and meaningful life.